Today we will begin with a short warm-up. Today's yoga class is going to be mostly stretches that we hold for a little bit. So I'll do a few yoga poses and hold them for several breaths, maybe up to a minute. And that's called yin yoga. When we hold the yoga pose for a while, that's called yin yoga. And I want to make sure you're warmed up, your muscles are loose before we get into some deep stretches. So if you've been sitting all day, you might take a few minutes, warm up a little bit, and then restart this video just to make sure you don't have any injuries and you don't push any stretches too far. Begin in mountain pose. Feet firmly granted on the mat. I like to move up on my toes, back on my heels. That helps me move my center of gravity forward and back. And then when I settle in, I can feel when I'm really connected to the mat and to the floor. And I can feel balanced and stable. Now lift just your toes up off the floor. And spread your toes as far away from each other as you can. And rest your toes back on the mat. Pull your belly button in. I want you to focus on your core today. When we're doing our yin stretches, focus on your core. And then I'm going to end today's session with some core work. But let's begin with the focus on the core from the beginning. And we do that by pulling your belly button into your spine. So that's the first thing. Pull it into your spine. Touch your sternum and lift your sternum. So pull your belly button in, lift your sternum. And already I can feel this whole core area just firm up. I'm not like scrunching it and tightening it. I just want my core, we call it engaged. I want it to be engaged. So you can feel the difference. Loose, engaged. I want it to be engaged. Firm. Inhale, reach to the ceiling. Exhale, moving into some side bends to warm up just a little bit. Just going back and forth, side to side. You're not trying to stretch right now. You're not trying to lean over as far as you can. I just want you to move gently. Just think about swaying in a gentle breeze. Come back to center. Exhale, rotate your torso to one side or the other. It doesn't matter which side. And lower your arms so they're parallel to the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, rotate the other way. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Breathe in and exhale. I can already feel my mind settling in, letting other thoughts float away while I focus all my attention on where I am right now, in my space where I'm doing some stretching, some yoga. And that feels good to have the mind focus on my yoga practice. Let's do one more. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lengthen the spine, reach towards the ceiling, and exhale. Roll your shoulders. We warmed up the spine just a little bit, moving side to side and rotating it. Now we're working on loosening the shoulders, the upper back, neck. Roll your shoulders forward. And relax. Shake your hands out. Let them fall to your sides, just loose and relaxed. And roll your head in a gentle, easy circle. We're still loosening up, warming up, and not thinking about stretching. Rotate in the other direction. I don't know about you, but I hear all kinds of noise going on in my neck. Come back to center. Inhale, keep your focus back on your belly. I know I forgot. Focus on your belly, firm it up. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Look over one shoulder. Look back to center, look over the other shoulder. And center, side, center, side. Back to center. Inhale, reach tall, bend your knees. And exhale, hinge at the hip. Just forward fold, hang loose like a rag doll. Inhale, arms come out wide, reach tall. Exhale, arms out wide, hinge at the hip. Repeat that, inhaling, arms out wide. Exhaling, hinge at the hips, arms out wide. Keep going up, reach, hinge at the hips and fold. Couple more times, reach. Exhale. Last one, we're going to reach and stay upright. Reach to the ceiling. Exhale. Hands at heart center. Lengthening your spine, relaxing your shoulders. Warm up the hips just a little bit more. Raise one foot off your mat, knee at a 90-degree angle, and give it a nice, gentle rotation. If that is not working for you today and you need to touch a wall or a bookcase, a chair, props are for you to use in yoga class. It's a good thing to use them. Help balance you, help your stabilization. Let's do the other side. You can have your hands wherever it's most comfortable. If you like to have them loose at your side, that's okay. And the other way. Whoop. Lost my balance there. And again, I'm going to touch this bookcase because it looks like my balance on this foot, standing on this foot, is not the same as the other foot. So I'll use this bookcase for a little assistance to keep me balanced on my one foot. And lower. Back to mountain pose, back to firm belly. Extend one leg out in front. Bend your knee and lower. Bend, lower. These aren't yoga poses, by the way. I'm just warming up, just moving. I want to hit all these muscles, joints, other leg. Warm them up before we move into some yoga poses. Bending, straightening. Nice. And one more deep inhale. And we will go into our first yoga pose, a yin pose. And this will be a gentle stretch. So we're going to ease into it. Very gentle stretches to start with. I'm moving towards the front of my mat because I will be using the length of my mat. And you notice I set my blocks out. If you have books, blocks, they all work. This helps me in my poses because it brings the floor closer to my hands and I don't feel this obligation to try to press down and reach to the floor. Because notice, I can't touch my toes. And when I don't have the blocks, then I just have this mental thing like I should reach down and touch. But if I have the blocks, they're right here. The floor comes to me. So let's begin with a big inhale. Legs are straight, but knees have a slight bend. They're not locked. Slight bend in your knees. Exhale. Forward fold with the legs straight, knees slightly bent. And this is how I use my blocks. I'm resting my palms on my blocks. What I'm feeling right now is a very gentle stretch in the back of my leg, my hamstring, and in my calves, even in the back of my knees. What I'm feeling right now is very gentle. It doesn't hurt. I'm not tugging. I'm not pulling. I'm just gently starting to stretch the back of my legs. I'll talk you through this, so if you can, take your gaze off your computer screen and look straight down to the floor. And think about the crown of your head moving as far away from your tailbone as you can. The idea is lengthening your spine. So reach the crown of the head to that wall in front of you. Gaze down at the floor so you don't put stress on your neck. And notice the backs of your legs. Perhaps one feels a lot looser, a lot more mobile or nimble than the other. Just notice. Don't try to do anything about it. There's nothing to fix. Just notice it as we breathe. Bend your knees a lot. Inhale, rise. Reach tall. Exhale, straighten your legs with a slight micro bend and do the same thing. Fold forward, legs straight, little bend in your knee. This is called a half lift. And if this feels really good and you want to stretch maybe a little bit more, not tugging, not pulling, not hurting, maybe your blocks go on the short side or flat side. Or maybe you have the ability to touch the floor. And that's okay if you touch the floor. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't want you to force yourself to lay your palms on the floor if that's not comfortable for you. Refocus on your core. Pull your belly button into your spine. And hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees a lot. Inhale, rise, reach tall. Exhale. Inhale, reach, arms stay up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Take a really giant step back with your right foot. The sole of the right foot connects with the mat. So the foot is flat on the mat and it's at a 45-degree angle. Inhale again, exhale, rotate your rib cage to the right, lower your arms so they're parallel to the floor. Gaze over your left fingertips. Re-engage your core by pulling your belly button into your spine, lift your sternum, reach the crown of your head to the ceiling. Exhale, that all stays firm as you exhale and relax your shoulders. So you're firm in through the belly and the low back, your legs. At the same time, your shoulders are relaxed. Inhale, straighten your front leg, which should be your left leg. Exhale, reach your left fingertips towards the wall in front. And keep moving the left hand down, and maybe your left hand touches your thigh or your shin. Maybe it's comfortable for you to have a block to rest your hand on. Place your right hand on your right hip. Rotate your rib cage towards the mat. So your right shoulder is going to go down towards the floor, rib cage towards the floor. Lengthen your spine and now rotate the entire rib cage away from the mat. So the whole rib cage rotates. And reach your right fingertips towards the ceiling. We'll hold this pose. Your legs are straight. Both feet are planted into the mat. Nice, firm grip on the mat with your toes, the soles of your feet. That'll help your balance. Re-engage your core. Having a nice, firm core also helps hold you stable. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, rotate the rib cage towards the mat. Right hand comes down. Bend your left knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, back foot comes to meet the front. I'm going to go to the other end of my mat just so I can keep facing you, but you stay right there. I'll give you cues of which foot goes back, but I don't want to have my back to you. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, left foot steps back. Left leg is straight, left foot is towards the back of the mat, right knee is bent, right toes are pointing towards the short end of the mat. Take another deep breath in, reach tall. Exhale, rotate your rib cage towards the left. Lower your arms so they're parallel to the mat. Nice. Re-engage your core, lengthen your spine, keep that inhale going, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach your right fingertips forward towards the wall in front of you. Pause. Keep exhaling, and right palm comes to right thigh or right shin. Left hand comes to left hip. Rotate your rib cage and your sternum towards the mat. Lengthen your spine once again. Engage your core. Inhale, rotate your rib cage away from the spine. You can leave your left hand right there on your left hip if that's feeling great to you. If you'd like to reach your left hand up towards the ceiling, that might also feel good. It's your practice. You get to do what feels good in your body. Big inhales and exhales. Breathe in and release that air. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the left hand to meet the right. Bend the right knee. Rise up. Reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Inhale. Back foot comes forward to meet the front. Exhale. Relax. Give a couple good shoulder rolls. I'm going to move my blocks back to this end of my mat. You can stay right where you are. Find your mountain pose. We're going to do a nice hamstring stretch. Find your mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Reach tall. Exhale, right foot steps back. Nice big step back. We did this with the other pose. Big step back. Right foot is flat on the mat. Left foot is flat on the mat. Right foot is at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, reach tall once again. Firm your belly. Straighten your front legs. Exhale, hands come to hips. And touch your hip bones and rotate your hip structure to the right. And rotate it back to center. And see if you find any more mobility. If you rotate it to the right and you rotate it back towards center, see if you are pointing your hips straight forward like a headlights on a car. You may not be, that's okay. They may be out here, that's totally okay. But just moving it to the right and back towards center sometimes settles them in just a little bit. Re-engage your core, lengthen your spine, legs still straight, right foot pressing into the mat, slowly hinge at the hips and stop just as soon as you feel a nice stretch in the back of your left leg. I want you to stop. Nice big deep breaths. Keep pressing that right foot into the mat. Keep the right leg straight. It's really easy to let that right leg sort of fall loose and bend the knee. If that's happening to you, press the back of the knee out away from the mat. Press the right foot into the mat. If you want to place your hands on your thigh, that might feel good right now. I'm going to take my blocks and place one to the left of my left foot and one to the right of my left foot. and place my hands on the blocks. Hopefully you're looking at your own foot and not me, but if you were looking at me, you would see that I can't reach the floor. So I have my blocks here so that I don't feel pressure or this need to stretch beyond what my body wants to and touch the floor. I get plenty of stretch right here, having my hands right where they are. I'm getting a great stretch. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your left knee, rise up, reach the crown of your head to the ceiling. Exhale, back foot comes forward to the front. And relax your shoulders. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach, arms stay up, left foot steps back. Flat on the mat with the left foot. Press into the mat with the left foot and the right foot. Left leg is straight. Inhale, reach tall, lengthen the spine, re-engage your core. Exhale, hands on hips. Straighten your front leg and pause. Inhale, see if you can get a little more length in the spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips, leaning forward, and stop when you feel a nice, gentle stretch in the back of your right leg. As your body settles in and you feel comfortable and stable, maybe your hands come to your thigh. Maybe they stay on your hips. Maybe they're touching a wall for extra support. Your body, your practice. I'm going to rest my hands on the blocks. What I'm noticing today is I'm having a harder time reaching the blocks on this side. My right hamstring seems to be a little bit tighter, so I'm going to back off and raise up just a little bit and rest my hands on my thigh. That right side is a little bit tight today. Continue lengthening your spine, keeping your belly firm. Inhale, right knee bends, rise up, reach the crown of the head skyward. Exhale, left foot comes forward. And relax. Nice. 2 standing stretches. And now we're going to do my favorite hip and low back stretch. Come to the mat. If that is not comfortable for you, you can do this stretch in the chair with your feet flat on the floor. I am going to cross my legs. My ankles are about in line with each other. If that's not comfortable on your knees, you can always put a blanket under your thigh. Adjust to the point where you feel comfortable in this position. Inhale, re-engage your core. Exhale, right palm goes on the floor beside you. Keep exhaling, bend at the hips, reach forward with your left hand. Left arms out straight, reaching forward. Pause here. Take a deep breath in, ease up a little bit. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and reach towards the corner of the room. So you're reaching across your body with your left hand and reaching towards the corner of the room. If this doesn't feel quite right, maybe you ease up a little bit. Kind of scooch around, wiggle, and exhale. Reach towards the corner of the room. If that doesn't feel good, maybe you reach towards the center. Move around until you find that nice, sweet spot. For me, I feel this great stretch in my left lower back and my left hip. And I hear my lower back just releasing and settling as I deep breathe in and focus on exhaling all the air out of my lungs. And inhale, hand comes back to center. Keep inhaling, rise up. Switch which foot is in front. Adjust. Find a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left palm on the mat beside you. Reach your right arm forward, reaching your right fingertips to that wall in front of you. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, ease up a little bit. Exhale, reach and cross your body with your right arm, reaching for the corner of the room. Inhaling, exhaling. When you hold these poses for a long time, it's a great time to bring all your awareness to your breath. Every time you inhale, think about your breath moving in. Every time you exhale, think about your breath moving out. Inhale, arm.